So there's modifying your car, and then there's e-modifying your car. Now that's an inside joke because our friend Ahmad has had like a million cars, and his typical strategy is buy car, lower it, aggressive wheel fitment, eBay aero, or ground effects or something like that. It's funny, but it's true. But that's not a dig. I mean, the fact that his YouTube channel is e-modifications means it works. And for what it's worth, I think pretty much all of his cars look sick. I mean, who buys a Buick wagon and makes it look awesome? Ahmad. It's a modified. And then there's me, who has had this car for over 4 years, and all I've done aero-wise is a little dinky trunk spoiler. Actually, I think it's one of the best trunk spoilers for the NC Miata in general. But all of that changes today. Time for more aero. Okay, let's clear the air. These are NA Miata side skirts, but they're from my friend Jackson, AKA Colored in Light. Go check out his videos. He did a video on installing these and first fitments, and I'm still gonna do my own video because to each their own. But he has taken these off his car. So if you recognize them, that's why. It's because he's had like 3,000 videos since 4 years ago when he put these on. But yeah, that's where they're from. But speaking of Ahmad, he is the one who schlepped them up here from Texas. Thank you, Ahmad. I probably owe you a beer or something. But yeah, he didn't carry these in a Miata. He sold his Miata because he's a trader. But these are freshly brought up from my courier friend, Ahmad. Jackson left all this junk on it, so I gotta clean that off. But no hard feelings. Actually, check out Jackson's new side skirts. Actually, it's like entire ground effect stuff from No Pro. So he's doing a whole series on adding No Pro everywhere. So I'm doing a whole series of whatever the heck I'm deciding to add. So this is the first part. But yeah, I'm excited to see how these work. I think they're gonna be a nice little touch. I've always thought about ground effects, but hot take, I think the NC2 is the one Miata where I was actually okay with it. It's like my favorite non-appearance packaged Miata, if you will. Anyways, the NA Miata, as you know, is a bit smaller than the NC. So how in the world am I doing this? Well, this is the wrong side, but don't worry about it. For display purposes, I can show you. Even though the NA Miata is smaller, the wheel wells of the NC are bigger than the NA's. So that leaves the effective area between the wheel wells about the same. Technically, I think the NC is still maybe a ½ inch longer, but it's close enough. See, on that side, it's pretty close. And then on this side, it's pretty close. So not perfect, but I think it's good enough. So we're gonna get these mounted today, and they are matte black, which is pretty sweet. I do technically have mostly glossy black accents, but it's not like they'd be completely alone. The fog light surrounds are matte black, the grill's matte black, this is matte black, so it's kind of a mix. It is all just black. But what I have cooking over here is kind of a little test, if you will. I wanted to maybe see if I could get them shined up without looking dumb. So I have, this is a glossifier, which is meant to be on Plastidip, which is going on the diffuser, which is the next video. And I'm trying out, I just basically have a couple test sections on the top here, which will be invisible, just to test it out. So I'm gonna see what glossifier does on this. And then this is the VRP from Chemical Guys, which is kind of a nice compound you put on, well, matte black or rubber and stuff, plastic, to make it shine up a little bit. And honestly, this looks pretty good. I might be happy with that. It's easier to get this even because this is a spray, this is a rubbing compound. So that's looking pretty good. That's probably what I'll end up doing on the entire side skirts. And yeah, stay tuned because there's more videos coming. This is again a 3-part series of ground effects. All right, so I'm gonna get that one cleaned off and then we might see about mounting. Jack it up nice and high so I can get as much clearance as possible. Throw on some jack stands. Okay, test fit. That's kind of nice. You can actually slide it just over the holster of the jack stand and I can see exactly how much space to leave on either side. I can give you an aerial view of how it's gonna look. And it really is pretty close to flush on the front and rear. Maybe I'll pull it back just a tiny bit. I think I'd rather be closer to flush on the rear. And then up here, just kind of split the difference, I guess. And yeah, it's pretty clear how it will sit up, mount against the car. I'm gonna clean this really well, That way they can bond, because how I'm mounting it, which I guess I didn't mention before, is a combination of 3M double-sided sticky stuff. I don't know what it's actually called. This is how I mounted the spoiler, if you recall. Actually, the spoiler came with the thinner stuff, which I have as well. So I have this thicker one, and then I have 2 rolls of this thinner 3M. It's like 1/4 inch, something like that. Yeah, 1/4 inch. So one or the other or a combo will work, and then I have self-tapping screws. A combination of the 3M plus the screws should keep it nice and steady, and I think this is gonna look pretty sweet, honestly. I mean, it's hard to tell right now, but just a little bit along the side is nice. You guys might be wondering why I'm doing the order. I mean, I want to do ground effects on all 4 sides, I guess. The skirts on the sides, diffuser on the rear, splitter on the front. What order am I doing them in is intentional, because I wanted to see it as I added it on. I don't feel like the NC2 needs any, like I said, but in my head, side skirts would look fine. I just thought the splitter would look weird by itself, and the diffuser might look weird, might look fine. I'm not really sure. That's also coming next, but side skirts first, just so I can see the incremental improvements or changes. Maybe it's not an improvement, maybe it's worse, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out one piece at a time. I enjoy this, modifying your car one little bit at a time. You see the incremental improvements and feel the difference. All right, so I actually have a series of 4 jack stands, all on structural components of the car, just to play it super safe, but that way the entire pinch weld is open for me to actually set the side skirt in. And my plan is to actually add the sticky stuff on this side instead of on the side skirt, because the way it's set up is the side skirt won't actually touch everything. Like here's a little gap right here, so sticky stuff is useless right there. So going to add it to the car, then stick it on there, then add screws. Okay, status report. The first one is on and looking good. Side note, does anyone have a professional recommendation on how to get that stupid red stuff off the back of the 3M tape? It's so annoying. So funny enough, Jackson left a tiny bit on here, so I'm just gonna use that and then add a bit more there. But I think it's working pretty well to have the 3M added to the bottom of the side skirt area first. So there we go. Okay, let's see. Better angle, there we go. So you can see how I just added it along the bottom, skipped the holes. On the other side, I didn't film it, but I actually got all the way to the edge, and then I realized, wait, the side skirt can't even get that far. So I've moved it a bit more, not to the middle, but a bit away from the inner edge, a bit away from the pinch weld. So that should do pretty well, and that covers most of it. And honestly, it felt really good over there. I added 4 screws, which I'll show you which location on this side. That side was kind of a good test. You notice there's nothing back here, so there's a critical screw I put right here, but not a big deal. I think the other side feels really solid, so rinse and repeat. Show you the final project in a minute once I'm done screwing that side on and sticking it on. But yeah, peeling that red stuff off the back is, I mean, that's like taking so much unnecessary time. Am I just doing it wrong? Someone tell me. So I ended up putting one screw at the back, kind of almost angled barely because there's nothing actually behind here. It's kind of that weird hole in the side frame thing. And then one here, one here, one up there. So just kind of 4 screws along the bottom. Yeah, you have to notate where the holes are behind it so you don't screw into the abyss. But that's kind of where it's at. So I think I might put her down on the ground now. Let's see how it looks outside. All right. They're on, they're looking good, they're subtle, as you can tell. But yeah, that's how it looks. What do you guys think? Final thoughts on the side skirts. And before I go, here it is wiped down with that kind of rubber VRP chemical guys stuff. I think it looks pretty good actually. A little bit shiny, not quite the gloss black that is the spoiler, but just a nice little, I don't know, it doesn't look quite as matte as it did. So gonna run with this for a bit. I think they're kind of what I was hoping. You know, nothing crazy, a little bit subtle. And I don't know, this is all experiment. And this is the first of 3 ground effects, as I said. So we'll have to see how the rest looks and how the complete thing looks as it comes together. But yeah, we're gonna take bets on how long before I break this stuff. Notoriously, Colorado has rough roads. Notoriously, I sometimes go off-road. I'm not what you call the garage queen driver. So leave your bets down in the comments as to how long before I destroy these things or scrape them off or something. And yeah, stay tuned for more ground effects. They're coming. It's like today. I'm filming these videos all at the same time, roughly. So stay tuned. Check in later. Ta-ta for now.